what are your future plans? Like, how would you see this farm growing in another 2 years, or what are your plans to develop?
Right now we're going to see how everything goes. We're going to keep going forward with what we have.
Okay.
I usually make 5-year plans because usually 2 years is,
Yeah.
I mean, this year's
Yeah.
already gone.
Yeah.
And so you really have to look at 5 years or 10 years down the road. And in 5 years, I mean, what I'd like to have is a better packing shed, you know, let that grow because that's important. You know, ours is small, it's getting better, you know, but we need something even bigger. If when we start producing all this other stuff, we're going to have to add that, you know. But as far as the way the farm runs and everything, I think it's finally like starting to come to fruition. It feels, you know, like it's supposed to, and so I'm really happy with that. I would like to be able to do more crops like strawberries and things like that, but they're a little more intensive and a little more fickle, so you got to have your soil right. So hopefully in the next 5 years I can build the soil better where I can add these other crops that I want to add in that I haven't been able to because the soil's not right. But yeah, in 5 years I hope I'm just still doing the same thing. That would be great.
Yeah. Okay, so also I wanted to know how much are you dependent on the mechanical equipment?
My tractor's over there in the other field right now, but all I have is an old 76 Ford 4600. It's basically, I think, a 50 horsepower tractor.
Okay.
I have that for tilling, and I have it because it has a bucket on the front.
Right.
I pick up all kinds of heavy stuff, and I'm telling you, it helps if you have a bucket. Other than that, once you till, all you need is your hand shovels and things. And if you can get it tilled one time, or you have nice soil and you could use what they call a broad fork, you don't have to go crazy. I mean, even just like if it's a smaller plot, you know, you can use rototillers and things like that, small hand tools. But we're not real dependent on the big ones. Now, we need it for tillage to break down, because we have a lot of weeds, so we break down those weeds in the spring and the fall and put them back into the soil. So we need that. But other than that, once our beds are set, we don't, I mean, we, you know, might drive a truck out and pick up vegetables or something, but we're really not that dependent on it.
Okay, so you don't even use any mechanical equipment for planting, right?
The only thing I have is a transplanter. Okay. I have a mechanical transplanter that's taken apart over there, but that basically, we might use that this year, but I haven't used it probably in a year and a half. We planted everything ourselves this year by hand.
Okay.
And I like hand planting because you take more time with the plants. With those things, you can roll down through there and you can get them in, but you still have to go back and fix the plants and everything. And I'm like, I'd rather just plant it and be done. But we do use those when we have large sets of plants, you know, and we probably will. We're doing a lot of tomatoes this next spring, so I'm planning on setting like 7,500, so we'll use that, you know.
Yeah.
It takes a while to hand plant things, and we're getting a little bit larger scale, so we'll use that. But now I do also use a cultivator, so once or twice I'll take and I'll run my tractor through the field. If it's that kind of field, then we'll cultivate for weeds. So in between the plants, we'll use a little barb and scrape it. Now that just makes it easier for weeding. You still have to weed in between the plants. They do make equipment that you can do it, but I'm not getting that high tech. A little help is all we need, and then we can finish the rest of it.
Okay. So do you have any plans of expanding? Right now you said it is 37 acres, right? But would you rather make this particular farm as profitable or sustainable, or you're also planning to go bigger, like 100 acres or something like that?
You know, the only thing size does is it's kind of a balance, right? So generally the way things work, it's all about cash flow. It's about how much money comes in, how much goes out. So you can stay small and you might make only a little bit of money, but you don't have a lot of cost. So your cost percentage of profit might be 20%. You can spend $100,000 or $300,000, and your cost percentage of what you make might be 20%. So to me, that just seems like a lot more headache. So I would probably stay the same size I am. Okay. It's going to be as much as I want. But I mean, if there's demand and you have the land available, yeah, you know, the idea is to make the farm profitable. You want it to be able to survive, and it needs to bring in money. But I can also do other things where I don't have to go bigger, but, you know, for me, maybe I can wholesale things from different farmers in the state, which is kind of, I do some of that myself through my co-op, which is cooperate. You know, if you can get people that you can sell some of their things and you're helping them because you're moving extras that they have, that works, you know. But you have to find the right people to do that with, that it can produce and give you consistent product, and that's hard. So where we're at, I don't know how it is where you're from, but here there's not a lot of farmers that do what we do. You know, you can drive 4 hours or 5 hours south to the valley down in South Texas, and they do a lot of farming, but that's 5 hours south, you know. Around here there's only a few of us, and so we try to work together and try to do that stuff, you know. But yeah, so I don't necessarily have to go bigger. I can just start wholesaling things. But yeah, that, for a future plan, it would be great to have like a little farm store where people can come buy vegetables. And we always wanted to have like the U-Pick, or, you know, just like the little farm slide, and, you know, where people go pick their own stuff. So one of my plans is, there's 10 acres back there that I would like to put an orchard in. I don't know what, probably citrus. But I want an orchard. And, you know, I'm not a big permaculture person because I don't practice it all the time, but there are some things about it I like that I try to incorporate, you know. And I think one thing you should always have is an orchard if you have a farm. It's important. It's something, you don't have to do a lot to it, you know, and you can still get fruit off of it as long as it's getting water. And so it's important to do that, because to have a tree that produces a lot of stuff, you can't realize how many pounds of stuff you can get off a good tree, you know. So like oranges, specifically here, they do really, really well. So we have a few out here, pomegranates, peaches. And so peaches do well here. And in my soil, they don't do as good. So you have to prep the soil, but they will do well here for the climate. So, you know, that would be cool to have.
My last question would be, so my father is a farmer, but I chose engineering. I mean, I didn't choose, but basically I came into engineering. Like, I mean, lot of people like me who has farming background, but they are moving into other jobs, like day jobs, regular 8 to 5 jobs. So, I mean, if the whole world is doing the same thing, then who is going to farm and who is going to produce things? And I mean,
that's a good question.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the hard part is, I found this year, people don't want to do this work. When it's hot outside, nobody wants to be out in the heat. And so, you know, it's like, that is a good question. That's like the question that they've been asking for years. The farmers are aging. Nobody wants to take over. Yeah. So what's going to happen is it's going to become more and more mechanized until, you know, it's going to be 5 farmers running all the robots or whatever. I really don't know what the future holds. I hope that more people get into farming. I'm meeting people that are interested. A lot of people are interested of the romantic idea of farming, but they don't understand the work side of it. And so it sounds beautiful to be a farmer and produce your own food, but then you get out there and you're like, holy crap, this is hard. And so, but you know, hopefully for the future, I mean, I've been raising my children to understand it. They love it. They'll get out and do the work, and that's what we need, is to get people interested in it. And I think the program I came from, they're still putting a lot of apprentices through it. So people are still interested, and we're training professionals to understand, and they're going out and they're getting different jobs besides farming, but they're helping to push farming and helping it to grow still. And so, you know, I hope that it stays alive, you know. But the way things go, technology, it seems to control everything, right? So all we can do is hope and pray, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Jason.
Hey, thank you, man. It was good talking to you.